What is good, my peeps? It's the Ruckus back at you again with another action figure review. This time we are going to do an entire wave en masse because basically all of these are repaints to some degree. We're talking about the X-Men 97 retro card back wave. And we've got 6 figures here. You see them all lined up. We've got Wolverine, Storm, Rogue, Magneto, Bishop, and bringing up the rear, we have got Gambit. So what we're going to do is, of course, we're going to go through all of them in one fell swoop, more or less. It's not going to be like my standard reviews. This is going to be more of a, we'll check them out. We'll compare them with their previous counterparts, and then we'll move on. And that's how it'll go down. First up to bat, of course, we got to kick it off with Wolverine. How else is this going to go down? Anyway, you see the packaging, X-Men 97 at the top. I'm actually looking forward to that cartoon when that is released. I was definitely a fan back in the 90s with the original cartoon. And I will dip in and peep out an episode or two from time to time on Disney Plus. You see what we got going on in the packaging there. We've got the figure and we've got the accessories, which are a pair of fists, his masked head sculpt, and of course his cowl that is that you can use when he's utilizing the head sculpt that you see in packaging. Flipping to the rear, we have the render of the figure, Wolverine right there, and then to his right, our left, you see the 6 figures that are in this wave. Now here's our boy Logan out of the packaging, and I'm sure any of you that have been collecting Marvel Legends for a while, you already know what's up with this buck. This is without a doubt, when they came up with this several years ago, I believe our first version of this was in his brown and mustard colored suit. And then the next time around, we got the Tiger Stripe. And we had gotten the removable claws. Some of the figures actually came with a separate set of hands, fists. That they didn't have the claws, and then of course you had the fists that had the claws, but the claws were removable. But of course they left the holes. That's why we had gotten the other. But now what we've got going on this time, as of the VHS series, they changed out the claws. So they're affixed now. They're rounder, if you will, and even though they also have the potential to warp, more times than not they come out of their packaging pretty straight. As you could see now, as Wolvie comes back around, you can see that his claws are pretty straightened out. So that's pretty cool. Now it's been the same buck for all these years. They can't really, it's the right height. He's not a big guy. And when they first started, of course, it was under the old designs, and they have updated this buck, and I'll show you momentarily, but we're now rocking pinless elbows and knees, and that's pretty good. Now that we can look at Wolverine close up, you already saw this is how he comes out of packaging with his maskless head. And taking a look at that head, it is he's got the typical Logan scowl on his face. Never happy, even when he is. This is just his look right there. It's a very good sculpt. I'm trying to see if that's a blemish that I have there on the right side of his chin, or if that's just because of, that's the way his chin goes. I'm thinking it's a blemish because it looks, yeah, it may be. So if it is, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Actually, it may just be a smudge. I'll figure that out later. Right now, it's pretty cool. His hair, the typical design for his hair. This is basically the same Wolverine we've gotten before. the Tiger Stripes. My paint apps looking pretty nice there. If you look at his shoulder guards or epaulets, whatever you want to call it, they're attached to the actual shoulders themselves, so that will assist with going, doing a 360 at the shoulders. So that's pretty cool. And since I showed that, I may as well show, like I said, we're rocking pinless elbows, double jointed, of course. So that's nice. And then looking at the claws, let me move his arm up some so you can see the claws. He's rocking the roundish kind of claws now, and they're pretty straight for the most part, so that's good too. And then I'll move his arm back so we can look. See, he's rocking pinless knees. Pretty cool. And like I said, the paint apps are they're on point on my figure right here, front and back. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So next up, I'll do is I'll pull off his head so he can be the correct way. This is the cowl, and you stick that on there right there, and then pop the head back on, and that's how your unmasked Wolverine should look. You can see the cowl supposed to be bunched up around the neck, and then spinning him around, you see that it's folded down on his rear there. So yeah, looks pretty good. And here he is with his cowled head sculpt, and we've got the definitely taken off from the cartoon. Notice how the what do we call those? The ears, or the just the eye section of it, whatever. Notice how they flail out. If you recall the cartoon, they flailed out just like that as well. Here's our X-Men 97 Wolverine compared to the last Tiger Stripe Wolverine we got, which is also based on the cartoon. This is the VHS version with the cell shading. If you look, you can see where that cell shading is. You see the differences in the facial expressions. No, I'm not going to swap heads because you may want them to have gritting teeth, because the cell shaded version has got cell shading on that head sculpt, so it's not going to look all that good anyway. And the yellows, they don't match up anyway. Next up is Storm. You see what she's rocking with in the inside the clamshell. You see her accessories. She just comes with a second set of hands. They're basically, they're not necessarily mirrored. One is a fist for her right hand, and then she has a gesturing hand for her left. In package, her right hand has a gesturing hand, but it's configured differently. Spinning it around, you could see her digital render there of the figure, and of course the 6 figures that are part of this assortment. Now here she is on the base, so you can get a look at her. She's basically the same figure that we've gotten in a retro card before. In fact, twice over, in this same costume, in a black version and in a white version, pearl white version, similar to this. Of course, the head sculpt was different. The hair style was definitely different. This time we've got her rocking the mohawk, so that's how I'm assuming she's going to appear in the X-Men 97 series, with blazing the mohawk in this costume. The last time we got Storm in a costume similar to this, not quite the same, was once again with the VHS line. We'll see, we'll match that up a little bit later and see what's what with that. But as far as what's different on this version versus especially those other 2 versions of her, is that we still get the swiveling elbows, but we do get the newer legs. They're pinless. They're a little meatier, if you will, so she shouldn't have any problems gumming up down there, and stand a little bit better than what we're used to. Here we have her close up, and the key for this, of course, is the head sculpt, because we've got her blazing the mohawk in this costume. And like I said, this is more likely, this is how she's going to appear in the cartoon. And looking at that head sculpt, very beautiful. Meaning Hasbro, did a great job on the doing the actual portrait. It looks very nice. And then, of course, looking at that the hairdo, it's mohawk, but you see how it's flowing down her back there. Looks very, very nice. She's got the lightning bolt earrings going, so yeah, looking pretty good. And like I said, the rest of her is more or less the same. She's blazing the swiveling elbows. I'll move her arm out the way so you can see that she is rocking the pinless double jointed knee, so that's pretty cool. Like I said, she'll stand up a whole lot better and easier, and she'll maintain her look. Definitely the legs won't go gummy. Now for the comparison, we've got on our right Storm as she appeared in the VHS line. It's essentially the same costume. It's just that the cell shading, if you will, this go round actually makes the costume look like it's an entirely different costume. This was, if not my favorite figure from the VH line, it was up there simply because the cell shading, I didn't take it as cell shading. It looked to me like an entirely different costume. And yeah, that's basically how I looked at it. Other than that, I mean, if you took away all of the black highlights highlighting the cell shading, it is essentially the same costume there. And then you just see the differences in the head sculpts. The head sculpts themselves, or the paint apps definitely on the head sculpts, are different, and obviously the hair is as well. And the other thing I want you guys to take note of, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you could see the differences in the legs. My legs on the VHS version have held up pretty decently. It's not like it's been crazy long, but it doesn't take much for this style of legs to gum up on us. So, but yeah, you see the difference right there. Having the double jointed knees on these Shriek legs is definitely an improvement. Next up, we have Rogue, and yep, looking pretty nice. We've seen this before. Like I said, all of these are essentially just repaints, and you know, just so that they could best emulate what we're going to see in that X-Men '97 cartoon. You see what she's coming with. She's got her accessories. She's got a fist that's grasping her right glove, and then of course we've got a bare hand there that's like reaching out like she wants to touch something. And then when you turn to the rear, there's our digital sketch of Rogue, and of course the 6 figures that are in this assortment. Here we've got Rogue on our rotating base, so you can see what's going on with her. And I have to, straight up, confession time, I went dyslexic on you guys again. I said that one of her accessories was a grasping hand or fisted hand that was holding her glove. I had that backwards. She came out of packaging with her gloved hand on, and a fisted hand was the accessory. I don't know what threw me off. Maybe it's because she came out of packaging with her hand grasping a glove, but her right hand is gloved. So maybe that threw me off a little kind of crazy. But whatever the reason, I got it twisted, and I apologize for that. But you see what it is. She's in her left hand, she's grasping her glove, her right glove. And yeah, other than that, once again, it's the head sculpt that's different. The paint apps are different on the head sculpt. And I believe the jacket is a different color. I'll confirm that when I do the comparison. Yeah, the previous jackets plural were brown. And we've seen Rogue 2 times before. Target exclusive was the last time we saw her in figure form. The first time was in the Juggernaut wave, if I recall correctly. And at that time, two things. She was the second most sought after figure in that wave, and she was on the 100% Moonstone Buck, which is, as nice as this looks, the Moonstone Buck was a little bit more buxom, if you will. This isn't that far off, but Hasbro did make some changes. They toned down the upper torso, I'll just say it like that. But other than that, it still looks good. This Rogue is rocking pinless knees. She still is sporting the single jointed swiveling elbows, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Giving you a closer look at the head sculpt. It is different from the previous version. It does look, it's nice, a nice portrait, but it does look more cartoony, and you'll see that when I compare up. She is rocking the green jacket this time around. You've got the overlay, and she's got her X on her upper torso, and there's that glove there. And as I stated before, she's rocking the swiveling elbows. She can get about 90 degrees with them, and they swivel. It still would have been nice if we could have gotten pinless, but we didn't, so it is what it is. We do have pinless when it comes to the knees, so that's pretty good too. So you gotta love that part anyway. So once again, that head sculpt is pretty nice. It is, like I said, a little bit more cartoony than previous. And then there's the hair. She's got, of course, the white mane top there, and yeah, looks pretty cool. Looks pretty nice. And here's our X-Men 97 Rogue up against our last offering, which was a Target exclusive retro carded Rogue. And I could tell you, you see the differences. You see the differences in the head sculpts. And also, one of the other differences that we have that I didn't mention is that the retro, she's got a wrap around her hair that is not present on the X-Men 97 version. You see that the jackets are different colored, and so are the belts. Definitely different colored with the belts. And there's another difference, and that's if you take a look at the rings around her boots. These are sculpted in, whereas this version and the Juggernaut Wave version, they're loose. I can mess with it, and you see it will flop around there. So Hasbro corrected that action going on. And of course, like I stated before, we've got pinless knees here. These knees are pinned. So that is our, may as well center them at least. Those are the differences between the two Rogues. Since we're halfway through our assortment, I think this is a good time as any to reach out to you guys and like the video, and to share it, and while you're down there, subscribe to the channel. And that's what I'm going to say for right now. Next up, we have the lone, sometimes villain of this assortment, this wave. We have Magneto. You see what's going on there. He's coming with just a set of fists. It's unfortunate that our energy projectors, Storm and Mags, they don't come with any type of energy effects at all. It really is unfortunate. Hasbro has really been cutting down on the accessories when it comes to their Marvel Legends. I guess it's got to be something about those licenses. Anyway, this is what it looks like in the front. In the rear, that's the digital sketch of Magneto, and of course there are the 6 figs that are in this assortment, 3 of which we've already reviewed. Here's our Magneto going around and around. We've had issues with Magneto in the past. We've never really gotten a Magneto that, let's just say, the majority of the collecting community has enjoyed. There's always been some type of nitpick or another when it comes to Magneto, and I'm talking specifically in his classic red and purple garb, as we see here. Either something with the head sculpt, or just the buck itself, or there's always been something. I never really saw it until it would get brought up. And then, of course, I go on my own tangent, usually against the collecting community because, I love this community. I love collecting, but let's keep it a stack. We can complain. I mean, it's ridiculous how we can complain about whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I used to always get in on. But be that as it may, Magneto has been maligned a lot in a plastic form. And I think that this will go down as the best Magneto to date. And it's going to mostly be all about that head sculpt. So let's check that out. Now that we've got Mags off of the rotating base, we can take a look at that head sculpt. And I think it's pretty nice. It definitely is. You can see the eyes. It's got some shading underneath the eyes. I guess that's supposed to try to make it look like some type of shadowing effect, I believe. The actual helmet itself looks pretty good. There is no paint on the emblem on the crown of the forehead there. And he does have paint on some of his other versions. We'll see one of them momentarily. But yeah, this does look good. There have been some QC issues with Magneto. Somebody I know, a fellow YouTuber, had issues with the eyebrows being off kilter. Mine's probably a little off kilter too, because I'm looking at the right eye. The right eye brow looks thinner than the left one. So I think that's pretty cool though, because that shows that it's almost realistic. The helmet doesn't fit, straight up and down. So it's kind of, that kind of sort of makes sense to me. But other than that, the helmet and the head sculpt look nice. Some of the other things that I can notice is we're rocking the pinless elbows and the pinless knees, so you know that's great. Gotta love that. And now comparing Magneto with this Magneto on our right is from the Family Matters 3-pack that came with Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch. And the eyes, they're pupilless in this one. I didn't find anything wrong with this head sculpt at all. And it's definitely on a different buck. So there is that difference. Now take a look at, like I said, the crowns of the helmet there. He's got paint apps on his. He's also gritting his teeth. And that's not what's going on our X-Men 97 version. Also, if you look at the cape is on the Family Matters version is longer, and it's basically touching the ground, so that kind of sort of assists with Mag's standing. Also different are the gloves. If you look at the Family Matters, he's blazing purple gloves, whereas the X-Men 97 version, the gloves are red. So that's what we got going on there. Other than that, they've basically stayed true to Magneto's classic look. Next up, we have Bishop, and you see what we got going on. His accessories, he's coming in with left kind of sort of grasping slash trigger hand and a fist on his right. And then he has another set of, another pair of hands. They both look like they're trigger finger hands. So they look like they're more trigger finger hands than that left that we see in packaging. And he comes with a weapon. Turn to the rear so we can see that sketch image. And there you see right there. You could see from the sketch image that he is rocking his holster for his weapon, shoulder holster on the rear, and then of course the 6 figures that are part of this assortment. Here we have Bishop out of packaging. You see what we got going on here. I could tell you that this is definitely and decidedly different than our last iteration, our last version. Last time we got Bishop was in the Sauron Build-A-Figure wave from several years ago. And of course, that was basically the classic iteration of Bishop, meaning with the long locks, the long hair. You see what's going on here. He's got the short haircut. Even when he appeared a few times in the original X-Men cartoon, he was rocking the long locks. But he's had a haircut since then, so pretty nice. The differences would be his collar there is definitely a different color and a different design than on a previous iteration. This go round, we've got all new arms. They're pinless, and the legs, knees are pinless as well. Yeah, this is basically, he's rocking his the gloves. Also, if you look at the sleeves, those sleeves are sculpted in. The original sleeves were, just free flowing, and they you'd have to always have to push them back up and have them cling to his biceps. But that's been changed this go round. And he's still rocking his shoulder holster for his weapon. So that's part of the classic look when it comes to Bishop. I didn't have some of the lighting on in the merry-go-round segment, and I apologize for that, but that's been corrected this go round, so you can actually see Bishop a little bit clearer in terms of what his actual paint apps look like. So you can see that face, and very nice head sculpt, but you can tell that it's got that cartoony look to it, but it still looks very nice. The hair is pretty nice there, what he's got going on with the hair there, and you see his collar or bandana. Is that what that would be called? I don't know. The rest of them is pretty cool. He is rocking, I didn't mention, his boots this go round. They're blue. His gloves are, they're still black, so that's cool right there. And he's got the emblem. His belt is just straight up, like smooth. It does have detail in there, but so it's so light and so vague, it almost isn't worth mentioning. But yeah, that's what it goes down on the back. Nothing's going on in the rear for Bishop. So yeah, let's play the comparison game. All right, here we got them side by side, and you can definitely see the obvious in the room are the head sculpts, that hair in particular. The Sauron Wave Bishop is a little bit darker in his pigment, and he's got a more stern kind of look with the mouth open. The lips at least curled back a little bit to expose some teeth. You see the differences in the collars there, the neck collars. Sauron Wave is a red color, whereas our X-Men 97 is closer to orange. And if you look at the belts, as I had mentioned earlier, you see that the X-Men 97 belt is more or less smooth. There is some detail in the belt, but once again, it's so recessed and with no paint apps to speak of to bring it out, it's almost not worth mentioning. The belt on the Sauron Wave, even though it too has no paint apps, with the exception, of course, the X logo, you can clearly see the detail. It's got pouches going around on its right side there, going all the way to the back, and definitely you can see the differences. Of course, back then it would have been nice if it too had some paint on it as well. There are two different color blues. The X-Men 97 blue is a little bit brighter, and of course then you're talking about the boots. The boots are they're blue on the Sauron Wave, but they're a very dark royal kind of blue. So at first glance, they may come off as black, whereas you can clearly see that X-Men 97 Bishop, his boots are straight up blue. Anything else that I can think of? Oh yes, if we look at the sides there, shoulder emblems, none existent on the X-Men 97. I'm assuming that the cartoon version will be similar. And on the right side, we've got emblems there. The I want to call that the XSE emblems for this Bishop, because Bishop did come from the near future, as it were. You also see there's differences in their holsters. So you've got that as well. And one other thing I can tell you for sure is we're rocking the dumbbell joint for the head. So you're not going to get too much in the way of articulation that way. Old school Bishop is on a disc hinge. You're not going to get too much because of the nature of the hair. So either way, that's the way it goes down. So those are the differences in our Bishops. And finally, bringing up the rear, we have Gambit. You see what's going on with him in his packaging. He's got his bow staff and an additional hand. It is a left throwing hand, and you see the cards. The cards are painted. They are the aces of spades, diamonds, and clubs. And then he's got an individual card that is an ace of hearts. Turning to the rear, that's what our guy looks like in the digital sketch, and of course the 6 figures in the assortment. And here we've got Gambit on our rotating base, and yep, this is our last one in this assortment. I could tell you the thing that immediately stands out, if you're thinking about it, and that would be the jacket, the overlay. Believe it or not, this is different. After all this time, we've changed up on the jacket. It's similar, but it is different, and when we do the comparisons, you'll see the differences that I'm speaking on. The last time we saw Gambit was once again the Target exclusive retro carded Gambit, which was a re-release also from prior Gambit that was in a wave. And now we've got him in our X-Men 97 assortment here. He's got different color apps, and we'll take a look at that head sculpt to see what differences that he has there. And here's our Gambit up close and personal. Taking a look at the head sculpt, there are very slight differences. Of course, it's been modified to give us that somewhat cartoony look. The hair is a different color. We'll see that when I play the comparison game, but the hair is a different color. There's no shading in that hair. It's just that brownish type of color. Looking at his eyes, you got to look real carefully, but his eyes are red pupilled, so we do get that, or red with the black pupils would be more accurate. The jacket is definitely different. You'll be able to tell those differences once I compare. I'm going to open it up, and you see we've got the color of the of his upper half, his upper torso, and the boots. They're also of a different color. They're the same. Essentially, it's the same figure. The overlay is what's different on this figure. So yeah, not much going on. It still is rocking swiveling single jointed elbows. In terms of the legs, they're also pinned still. So they didn't really do much changing other than the jacket. I guess that's all Gambit warranted. Here's our Gambit comparison. You can see the different colors of the jackets, but it's more than that. If you, let me zoom out just a little bit so you can see the bottoms of the jackets. So right there, you see that our retro carded Target exclusive Gambit, the jacket is different. You see it flails out a little bit wider and comes around wrapped. If you look carefully, you could see the collars are definitely different. There is more line work in the Target exclusive jacket. I have a paint mishap on my Target exclusive jacket. Looks like some accidental paint transfer happened, or paint chipping removal. That's unfortunate. That kind of depresses me. It bothers me when I have issues like that, but it is what it is. Anyway, the jackets are definitely different. The head sculpts are, they look similar, and I think they probably are the same head sculpts, it's just the paint apps are different, so that our X-Men 97 version looks more, it has more of a cartoonish visage, and they both are rocking the single jointed swiveling elbows. You could see the different colors of the bow staffs, and you see the different colors in the boots. The trousers on the Target exclusive, they're a bluish, purple bluish type of color, whereas they're black, straight up black on our X-Men 97 version. So that's about it. They're both rocking pinned knees, so there's no difference there. And yeah, that's how it goes down. And so my final thoughts on the Marvel Legends X-Men 87 Retro Wave, the assortment of figures, 6 in all that we've gotten. We've got Wolverine, Bishop, Storm, Rogue, Gambit, and of course Magneto himself. They've all, for the most part, I'd give it over 90% for the most part, are redos, repaints. There are some changes, and I will give them props. The changes were all for the better, like in Wolverine's case. Both the arms and legs, we got pinless. So that's definitely a welcome change. You know, with Storm, we got pinless legs. With Rogue, the same thing with Rogue, pinless legs. With Gambit, the only thing we got new per se was the jacket. So I guess that's something. Maybe that means they're going to retire the old one finally and then use this one and run that one into the ground. But at least we'll have a few years before we get to complain about that. At least I hope so. Magneto, different buck for sure. Head sculpt. The portrait, very nice. That has always been a point of contention amongst collectors, and I think it's been improved very nicely. So, like I said, the differences, the changes have been for the better with this assortment. As far as Bishop is concerned, definitely new. He's got a new head sculpt. He's totally pinless. You gotta love that. So, yeah, pretty good for all of them. What do you guys think? Are you going to play or pass on this? You've seen the comparisons. That was what this was for, so you could make a determination on whether or not you want to get this assortment, or any of the figures within, or just stand pat with what you have if you have all of these characters in a different iteration. Do what you feel. I'm here to just provide you with the impetus to make an informed and rational decision. And since you're deciding on stuff, why don't you decide to go down there and hit the like button? Yeah, you could do that, right? Decide to hit that like button. You can decide to share the video. You can decide to subscribe to the channel. Those are all good decisions as far as I'm concerned. You can decide to write a comment in that section below on whether or not you're going to play or pass with this assortment, what you think of the video, especially in terms of doing the comparisons and, nature like that. Put down and tell me what you think about this little diorama I've done. You know what I'm saying? Just a little quick thing, trying to look good. It's a passion of mine. I'm not good at this at all. I want to be. I'm inspired by ACBA, and I think I'm getting a little bit better every day. I just need to improve on camera angles and things like that. And slowly but surely, it's coming along. Let me know if you have pointers, especially you ACBA guys. Definitely. I'll take anything, comments, criticism on that. Let me know so I can get better. If you want to be notified when I upload another video, there's a bell down there. You can hit that too. And that's how it gets done.